Hello and welcome to the video overview for Wednesday the 2nd of March. Right, we'll go, got Skype messages coming in there, sorry. We'll go straight into the first trade, which actually wasn't until we had these sort of startup signals, but we had no clear signals, sorry. We had no clear signals between this point and it's 9 o'clock, so we had this big bar come up here, and our first signal was at 9:50. That's right. Sorry, we waited for we had the news out at 9:30, so we had this, and then this sort of consolidation, and then at 9:50 we can re-enter the trade after we've given it suffice room for the news to be absorbed. So we've entered here at 16287. With a stop of just 20 pips you can have on this, which brings us nicely below the pivot and below this area here. So we can have a nice short stop on that one of just 20 pips. The max it come down is 13 pips to this point. Gone up and hit the initial R1 target quite nicely, and then it's gone up to around 37 pips before coming back down. So taking a profit of 20 pips around the R1 mark, which is obviously the good targets we're looking for when it's floated around there, we're being able to come out at that point. The next trade we've had is at 12.25. As you see, when I say about these channels, the 10 to 1 rule, I know a lot of people don't understand them, so I'll try to go in each time I talk about them. This sort of consolidate, obviously we had the news, and then we had this carry on to the up move. There's no channel there, we were clearly going up there. We've got into this is what I'd say the sort of range that we were stuck in here. Sort of this at the bottom and this at the top. Ignoring that pin bar there, that's the sort of area where you see the top of the body of the candles and the top of this wick. That's the sort of little range you should be able to spot. On the 12.25 bar, it's actually closed. The body's closed just below just on this wick there, and then we've actually passed through. So that's a good trade there. 16303 or around the 300 if you're looking to enter. And this particular trade's come down. Obviously, another good target just for 20 pips. It's the pivot line. Hit the pivot. There was around about 31 pips maximum there. But if we look at the pivot for a target, again, there's a nice 20 pips available there before the market turned back on the upside. There was another trade later on again for anyone that was trading a bit later in the day, which again would have been another scalp. Well, when I say scalp, another 20 pip trade, and that's coming off this bar, the 250. Entry point of 16314. Again, you can have a 25 pip stop to get us below this area, so we're not using big stops either to grab these 20 pips. And this one's gone up sort of before 4, just before 4 when you're looking at finish trading, so not a long trade. And there was around about 30 pips again, so a nice opportunity to grab another 20 pips. And there's 3 trades for the day that could have nicely netted 20 pips per trade.